Hey there, it's Inverse. 4 months have passed since I made that ModPack inspired by Realism Craft. You guys seem to have enjoyed it. So I'm back, and this time it's about the long-awaited Actions and Stuff add-on. To this video, I'll try to thoroughly recreate the add-on using Java mods. There's also another add-on by the same company called the Realistic Biomes. We'll be inspired by that too. Now without any further ado, let's dive into the video. First off, we start with the Improved Animations mod, aka Trainguy's Animations Overhaul. And don't worry, the mod finally has a download page, in addition to being updated up to 1.21.4. Pleasant surprise, huh? This mod is unbelievably good and valuable for our ModPack. The Elytra flying looks identical, the eating very close too. Mining, boy is it close. Falling, well, the same at this point. Running and jumping aren't exactly the same but are as fluid as they can get. Sadly, we won't use this mod for our full ModPack due to many bugs and glitches, though we have more options to choose from, so sit tight my friend. The initial ModPack will be quite lightweight, under 60 mods actually, so provided you won't use shaders, you would lose next to no frame rates. Now here's the catch, it also means that running a server with the ModPack would not require a fortune. And that's where I would recommend Pine hosting to you my friend. This service will provide you with a ModPack installer. Say I release the pack on Modrinth, you would simply browse over here and write the name, then click install. As simple as. With $3 you get everything from many server locations to get the best performance, an instant version switcher for vanilla playthroughs, a super simple control panel to monitor the server's health, easy file management for things like data packs, and if anything breaks, the support will be there for you. And don't worry, it's not an AI assistant. Sponsors like Pine Hosting make it possible for creators like myself to do this as a full-time job. And for you my friend to get a well-maintained server for $3. As a matter of fact, less than $3 if you use my code ENDER. Go down the description and get your fresh animation server started. Instead of the previous mod, you could use the Serious Player Animations mod. The animations here are, as the name implies, a little too serious, but should work with about every mod we'll add later on. This mod included a lot more animations, many of which closely resembling those of the add-on, particularly the animations of gathering raw materials, along with combat, slightly at least. There is also this tiny animation when you turn around. Just like the add-on, your feet will interact with your rotation, moving side to side with a smooth animation. Due to this mod's excellent performance and stability, it will be the default option for our initial ModPack. Call it a divine intervention or luck, but as I was modding this pack, I stumbled across a texture pack that reanimates the serious player animations to be quite similar to that of Trainguy's Animations Overhaul mod. I wasn't looking for this pack at all, it was pure accident that I found it, and honestly, it is one of the most important discoveries for this ModPack, so a lucky start so far. Detailed Animations is a pack most of your friends are familiar with. It is a pack that offered exceptionally smooth player animations to Minecraft. Key similarities between this pack and the add-on were things like climbing a ladder. This one was so familiar, it even had the same glitch when the player stops mid-climbing. Another thing to note was how the body squashes upon impact, particularly when jumping or falling. Flying in creative mode is also remarkably similar, looking like a superhero floating. Floating from things like shulker attacks is also not that different. This pack sadly won't be used in the initial ModPack due to incompatibilities, but it will be there on the resource pack tab list you want to enable it anyways. First person model will allow us to see the fresh animations in a first person view. In the add-on you can't see your legs, but upon any type of activity, your hands are visibly animated, exactly as they would look in a third person view. This mod looks wonderful at times, but intrusive at others, though don't worry, we have plenty of other options coming up. Real Camera mod does pretty much the same thing, only I have to hand it the crown in terms of fluidity. This mod will emulate many tiny details like the impact of landing, the bobbing animation of the pack or mod, and everything in between. However impressive this may look, for long-term playthroughs, you can grow irritated from the constant shaking and wobbling. The camera is also awfully zoomed in the body, I tried tweaking the mod but to no avail. As a result, this mod won't be used in the initial ModPack. Now that is our best bet yet. Hold My Items is a mod that will add first-person animations but only around your hands. Exactly our pursuit in this ModPack. The mod added things like lantern physics in hand, loading up a crossbow, and animations for chopping and digging. This is a godsend of a mod that came at the last minute to enhance the quality of what you are making here. So I'm grateful for the author for that. On to text packs now, and the one taking care of our theme in this pack is Coquet. On top of it, we will add the Overlays texture pack, which is an add-on that will connect the paths, resulting in an immersive outlook. The Coquet pack's art style is quite close to that of the add-on. It also doesn't cover maps, giving us full freedom to modify them at will. Extra features included 3D models and grassier grass, not relevant to the add-on, but relevant to the theme we're pursuing here. Overlays, on the other hand, have nothing to do with the add-on, as there are no connected textures. But that's our advantage on Java, so we'll use it nonetheless. Next up, we are taking care of the animations of the mobs, starting with the obvious and the only option we have, fresh animations. This pack animates around 80% of all mobs, and that's great, because in the add-on, almost every mob is well animated and quite energetic and approachable. Next up, we have two add-ons for the Fresh Animations pack, one that will animate the chests, carts and boats, along with one that will make the mob's eyes glow. In the add-on, only the cart is animated. However, mobs like the spiders and endermen will have a very strong emission around their eyes. Sadly, much stronger than our add-on. Those shaders get pretty close. Villager Variety is the texture pack that will give the villagers different skin tones and body features depending on their biome. It is also compatible with the Fresh Animations pack. In the add-on, depending on the biomes, the villagers may have a darker skin tone, a different eye color, or even facial hair that indicates their age. We don't have the last one though, but we are progressing nonetheless. One of the last Fresh Animation add-ons we'll add is Fresh Skeletons Physics. This pack will give the skeletons and fresh animations a very realistic death as they collapse into a pile of bones. There is no such animation on the add-on, but this pack will assist our aim here, that being making the game as animated as possible. Mobs refresh 3 models every single mob in the game, overhauling their outlook with more depth and 3D features. The charged creeper in particular is exactly what we are looking for, with a skeleton appearance and lightning particles around certain parts of its body. Though it still looks fairly different, with the add-on's charged creepers not losing their flesh. I took permission from the author to modify the pack so that only the charged creeper is present within the pack. So don't worry about the other mobs being overhauled too. To make our armors 3D, we'll add Tridents 3D armor models. This pack will make the armors look blockier and quite advanced, without necessarily plummeting your frame rate like some other mods and packs do. Looking closely at actions and staff armors, we can see an obvious 3D appearance. And I apologize, I could not find a pack that provides both the custom look and the 3D features. We'll manage something in the future together. For 3D pent arrows, I had to install the 3D arrows pack. Vanilla Minecraft already had visible pent arrows, though this pack will give set arrows a thick and more prominent appearance. In the add-on, we can see that pent arrows look 3D and different from vanilla, so that's that. Here is a side-by-side comparison with the Better Bows pack installed and the Actions and Stuff add-on. In a third and the first-person view, it looks quite accurate and beautiful too. The final mod that has to do with arrows is Entity Pincushions. It extends the pent arrows visual of the player to all other entities, with mobs being visibly penetrated with arrows. This is yet again an irrelevant mod to the add-on, but I thought it would make a nice addition to our eventual mod pack. This next pack will change the model of the Trident, giving it 3D features and enhancing the overall design with more details. For Modrinth users of the pack, you will need to download this one manually, as it has a license forbidding it from being included in any external launchers. Anyways, the add-on presents a different Trident too, however, one that is a bit more impressive in my opinion. but apart from the blades of the Trident, our version looks pretty similar. We have yet again stumbled across a godsend of a texture pack made by Trainguy, and this guy sure made lots of good texture packs, and this pack is one of them. This texture pack made all buckets in the game 3D. As you can see on these side-by-side comparisons, the new buckets are 3D and are even animated. Sure, their animations are not as fluid, but some of them have the same movement patterns and overall identical outlooks. So yeah, we're still getting lucky. This next pack will only be available for those playing on the 1.2-in-1 version. Mace 3D does what the name implies, redefines said weapon, giving it a neat design and a blockier head. There are many packs with the same purpose, however this one lacked in the model we are looking for, with the handle and the tip looking quite identical to the add-on, but a little more pointy. In the add-on, the Mace's model squashes for a brief moment, along with having a glint VFX for the smash. We can't do that sadly, but all around we are pretty set. Even the animations are going to be added later on the video. Continuing on the 3D of tools, this pack will give us Blockier coat horn. As a matter of fact, that's the actual name of the pack. Once again, we bring the reference from the add-on. Here, the coat horns were a little thinner, but don't worry, there is another option coming up next. MB3D items is a 100% full texture pack turning every item in the game 3D. Amongst many more, the eye fender was phenomenally similar to the add-on, in addition to the potions too. And finally, the coat horn model, which I referenced in the previous pack. In the add-on, only a tiny portion of the items are 3D, but the foods and some of the tools are, so this pack will come in handy. However, there is another option to consider if you are not too fond of 3D items. These two texture packs combined will work to animate a large number of the items, extending the fresh animations to your GUI too. There are no animated items on the add-on, so MB3D will be more fit for the eventual pack, and you can't choose both, so one pack will have to go. I'll try releasing different versions of the pack to ease your choice, my friend. This mod will redesign the sun and moon in Minecraft, making them circular all the while preserving their original pixelated appearance. The add-on's counterparts are quite similar, with the rotation being the only difference. Luminous is up next. This texture pack will, too, blockify an item in the game. However, here the author redesigned said item, giving it special animations and a different model altogether. The torches in the add-on are quite beautiful. They also feature a 3D model with beautiful animations and even extinguishes if submerged in water. Well, we got 2 out of 3 on that front, so that's progress. In keeping with the torches, this next pack will bring the 1.2 and 1.2 models of the redstone torches to 1.2 and 1.1 version, along with the 3D model when held, making it viable even for 1.2 and 1 players. We got it just right this time, boys. Even got a better model for when the torch is placed. But that's merely the opening of the video. On to the mods now. First mod we'll be using is Vintage Animations. Although we have improved certain animations with the Serious Player Animation mod, this one will take us a step further, adding a chopping animation, a rigging animation, a shoveling animation, and a chilling animation too. What I love about Vintage Animations is that it doesn't require an external mod for these movements to be visible on a first-person view, reducing dependency on the first-person model and the rear camera mod. The add-on nailed it when it comes to player animations of any sort, both on a first and a third-person view. So sadly, we can't reach that level of precision and smoothness yet, but we create what we can with what we have, and I'm quite content with what we've created so far. Coming up we have Perception, a mod adding many immersive visual effects like a shaky screen for explosion, in addition to a trail effect for arrows, elytras, and even XP points. The add-on features a trail for arrows too, along with different looking trails for the elytra being visible only on the sides. However, there are no trails for the XP points, so that's a plus for us. This mod is for 1.2.1 upwards, but don't worry, we got a version for 1.2 and 1.1 for the ModPack. However, after watching this video, I'm pretty sure you'll want the 1.2 and 1.1 version instead. It has much more content to be seen. Fancy VFX is a highlighted mod in our ModPack. adding a lot of visual improvements to things like archery. When loading up a bow, a light ring will form around you, and when you shoot, the arrow itself will have a visual effect ensuing the pin. The mod goes on to add other visual effects like a power-up for when you drink a potion, a trail effect for XP points like the previous mod, a hitch effect for when you damage any entity or get damaged yourself, a lightning bolt effect which goes nicely with our skeleton charge creeper, and finally a dust cloud VFX for the sprinting, which I have tweaked to look a little smaller. This mod pinned the tail on the donkey relative to things like the boring, the power-up effect, and the sprinting dust clouds. The rest is an extra for you, my friend, to enjoy. The effective mod is mostly known for its cascade and splash effects. However, it contains much more than that. There are fireflies that illuminate the swamps during nighttime, a fabulous trail effect that follows your allies, a flame effect for the cast fireball, and one for the Ender Dragon too, along with a few more effects to be discovered. The add-on did feature a splash effect, so we're good on that one. However, from this point on out, we'll be drawing inspiration from both the Actions and Stuff add-on and its sister add-on, the Realistic Biomes. I thought that both packs combined made for some surreal visuals, and our ModPack deserves that too. To improve the sound effects, not just the visual effects, I had to include dynamic surroundings. Just hear it for yourself. The mod also added sound effects for the toolbar too. And what do you know, it also features VFX additions, things like a lava steam effect, a water spray effect which is good for our previously added effective mod, and there are also fireflies. Those are special because they're not tied to the swamps, they spawn in flowery fields too. The Actions and Stuff add-on has no special sounds, apart from the combat. However, the Realistic Biomes add-on features plenty of ambient sounds to listen to. Next up we have amendments, a mod adding a couple of aesthetic features. Candles on skulls, physics to hanging signs, and remodeled jukeboxes are notable examples of these features. However, I strictly added this mod due to its handheld lantern visual. Although we added the Hold My Items mod, this one will help in case you want to use a forged version or in case said Hold My Items mod did not work well for you. There are also functional features like boiling water, mixing dyes and potions on a cauldron, so this mod is viable nonetheless. Not Enough Animations is a mod that animates certain activities in the game, things like rowing a boat, eating, and even petting your cat or dog, which is exclusive. The eating animation in addition to the map animation are present within the add-on. However, I can't say the same for the rest. Toni's immersive lanterns will let you strap a lantern to your waist. However, that's not why I added it here. I added it to our ModPack because I love the jiggling animations of the lanterns when they're equipped. We've already added physics to handheld lanterns through the Hold My Items mod, but this one will help you out if you want to save your offhand all the while keeping the jiggling animation of the lantern. Next up we'll be adding the Better Combat mod. This one is an obvious choice to add smooth fighting animations for various weapons. Much like vintage animations, the movement here remains visible even when you switch to the first person prescriptive, without relying on any mods to do so. We can also enable visible hands on the settings. This way the mod meshes well with other projects on the list. This mod will also help us get smooth animations for smashing with the Mace. Not as smooth as Actions and Stuff, but at least we get that covered, didn't we? Wakes is another mod to enhance Minecraft's ambient features, adding a wake effect that tails boats along with items and entities too. There are no features like that on both add-ons. But again, we're enforcing our ModPack's theme, that being fresh animations and visual effects. So let's keep going. Cosy Creatures and Creepy Crawlies is a 1.21 mod adding aesthetic particles like crows landing on trees, moose circling lanterns, and creepy spiders crawling from within cobwebs. The Realistic Biomes add-on features similar particles, most notably the eagles that fly around deserted biomes, in addition to some insects too. Session Plus will allow you to trigger various session animations, even adapting to things like stairs and slabs. It will also automatically switch to third-person view each time you perform any of these animations. The mod sadly breaks with series player animations. but should work fine with detailed animations resource pack. In the trailer of the add-on, I've seen a cat where the player gets up from a certain animation. Sadly, that was just a blender animation I guess. No certain animations trigger on the actual add-on. However, I thought it would be worth adding on the list. The Realistic Biomes add-on featured some of the most fabulous weather conditions I've ever seen, rich in particles and animations too. Particle Rain is a mod beautifying the weather conditions in the game, even allowing you to customize its volume and opacity too. The mod covers about every weather condition in the game, but it misses the Savannah along with the Nether, so let's take care of that now. The best mod to fill in that gap is Biome Particle Weather, adding heavy wind to the Savannah and various weather conditions to the Nether. But the mod does more than just filling gaps. It adds special extra particles to weather conditions based on the biome, along with providing our ModPack with fireflies that are well modeled and animated, beating the conventional 2 pixels fireflies. I've tweaked both mods to complement each other perfectly, and the duplicate features have also been taken care of, so don't worry. The explosions in the add-on are quite simplistic, no smoke or flame particles as far as I'm concerned. Explosive Enhancement offers similar explosion animations with the same orange and yellow tint, along with more particles like the sparkling and the smoke. There's even a dedicated explosion animation for the water. The mod is highly customizable, so do with it as you please. Visuality is a mod adding a couple of extra particles, things like bones scattered from head and skeleton, emeralds dropping from head and a villager, sparkling effects for amethyst and shiny diamond armors, along with trail effects for the slimes. Apart from the slime effect, most of the features don't exist within the add-on, but the more VFX, the better. Another particles-packed mod is Subtle Effects. This mod adds VFX features to items, entities, blocks, and whole biomes even. Key similarities between this mod and the add-ons are the sleeping particles on the actions and stuff add-on, along with the pollen particles on flowery biomes from the Realistic Biomes add-on. Each animation is a mod I have no idea either to keep or disable. In one hand, it will give us special visuals for eating various types of foods. In the other hand, it is not really incompatible with MP3D items pack and doesn't look right with Coquet or the animated items pack we added earlier. In the add-on, some foods, not all but some, will have special eating animations on top of being 3D, which made for an incredibly satisfying show when consuming fish or fruits. I'll keep the mod on for now, and may add a different version in the pack without it, so it will come down to choice. Bray's World is a texture pack I just discovered by accident as I was searching. However, look at these eating animations. Sadly though, these animations do not extend to any other foods apart from fish, and they're almost identical to those of the add-on, but we'll have to keep it disabled until it is completed. Physics mod adds a plethora of realistic VFX improvements to the game, but I'm not dumb enough to consider these features fit for our ModPack. However, I have disabled all features and only kept the eating particles and throwable physics, which affect underpearls, eggs and snowballs. This will help us replicate throwables from the add-on, as they are obviously animated in 3D. And will also help in case you want special eating particles that match with the MB3D items. However, it breaks the fresh animations if you kill any mob, so I'll have to keep it disabled before I find a solution for that. This next mod reanimates the wither spawning animation, and it does so skillfully, taking care of tiny details like the nether star and the skulls lacking in place. Honestly, even the add-on could not reach that level of protection, so we are blessed to have such talented developers in the Java modding community. However, I have to mention that this mod is for Forge only, which made me seriously consider making a Forge mod pack at this point, so stay tuned for it. And don't worry fabric users, I've got an option for you. The BE style weather isn't specialized in animation, but it's a mod that will make this boss spin before it summons. It will also change its death animation, which is a plus. This boss has also been empowered immensely, which is the main purpose of the mod actually. The animation difference is negligible, but honestly it is more accurate to the add-on, as the weather boss here also spins into existence. So yeah, a good option nonetheless. Particular is a mod that will give us falling leaves effect. The thing I love about this mod's falling leaves in particular is that each tree will have a dedicated type of leaves that fits its nature, in addition to the leaves laying flat on the ground, adding more realism to the game. The mod also has rain droplets that form on the water. Sadly, they don't form on hard surfaces like in the add-on, but that's a good step regardless. The mod also features splash and cascade effects that were developed and designed from scratch. Though we already had the effective mod taking care of that, so we will keep said features disabled. In the realistic biomes add-on, when it's raining, leaves can be seen traveling along the wind. I could not see them in clear weather though, so that's an extra for us. We already had a tumbleweed effect thanks to the particle rain mod, but that one only appears during a sandstorm. The tumbleweed mod will add this atmospheric feature without the need for a sandstorm. Furthermore, these tumbleweeds are also interactable. You can catch them and they will give you random loot. Tumbleweeds within the add-on are exactly like that, do not require a sandstorm and can be harvested for 6. Final mod on this video is weather, storms and tornadoes. Although this mod is known to have some catastrophic weather conditions, there is an option on the config file that will allow us to get the aesthetic features without the natural disasters. These aesthetic features were in the form of an immersive wind effect. Particles like dust and leaves can be seen traveling along the wind, and is unlike any other VFX mod we added earlier. This is the closest we ever got to the realistic biomes add-on, but sadly is only available for Forge. Don't worry folks, at this point I have decided to make a Forge version, so check if there is one, and if not, just wait a couple of days. Thanks for watching. More updates will be coming to the ModPack, so follow the project on Modrinth or CurseForge. Like and subscribe if you found this video valuable, and I'll see ya in the next one my friend.